Welcome into episode number 163 of The Voice Behind the Voice. I'm Sean Aronson, the TV and radio broadcaster for the St. Paul Saints, an independent minor league baseball team in the Twin Cities. Well, there are a couple of things to get to. Number one, I am coming to you on Sunday night following the last game of the week. Monday being an off day when I usually record these, so I will not come within 15, 20, 30, maybe 50 miles of the ballpark. But what a week it's been since the last time I talked to you. Remember, I recorded last week's Open before we left for the road trip. Your favorite baseball team is now 15-7 and all alone in first place. So that's the good news. You want the even better news? For the first time in my 19-year broadcasting career, I got the opportunity to call a no-hitter. May 31st, 2019 for me will go down as a day that I will never forget. One Eddie Medina pitched a no-hitter in Cleburne, Texas, and a couple of thoughts about it. First, I take no credit whatsoever, obviously, because I don't get to call it without the fine performance by Eddie Medina, and what a great performance it was. 10 strikeouts, 1 walk, a dropped third strike where a runner advanced and reached, and a hit by pitch. That is everything that went into it. And it was about in the 7th inning where I started to get nervous. Now, I've gone into the 8th inning with no hitters before, but the nerves started to really hit me in the 7th inning. And I really had him in the 8th inning. Now, it was funny. I went back and listened to the last couple of innings, and I will say you can't hear it too much. At least I didn't think that it was evident that I was nervous. And the 9th inning happened pretty quickly. Just trying to paint a picture, trying to set the tone, and it happened pretty quickly. There wasn't really one play that I would say, wow, that saved the no-hitter. There was a lined shot. I think it was in the first inning. Might have been the first or second inning, but it was right at our shortstop. But in the 9th inning with 1 out, there was a two-hopper to our third baseman, Chesney Young, who looked like he wasn't sure whether he wanted to come to the ball or back up on it, and kind of got caught in between and corralled the ball up against his body and looked like he kind of threw off his back foot, skipped it over to first, one-hopped it, and our first baseman made an incredible pick. Now, on the road, you don't know how that's going to be scored, and it went in our favor on a great pick, but you just never know if they would have scored that a base hit or not. And the final out of the ball game was a ground ball wide of first, in which our first baseman made the clean field and underhanded to Medina to capture the no-hitter. The other thing that I'll say is after the no-hitter was over, like 30, 45 an hour after, you start to think about things that you wish you could have said or would have said. And I would imagine a lot of broadcasters feel that way after they call monumental moments. But it was one of those things that it was amazing to be a part of. And I was excited that it took 19 years to finally call one, but it was every bit as magical and memorable as you would hope it would be. And I'm just hoping now that 19 years into this career, I can call a championship moment to kind of round out this inning. But we're a long way, and I mean a long way, from that point. But it's good to be 15-7 right now. With that said, episode number 163, it is Eric Reid of the Miami Heat. 3 years I've been trying to get him, and every time Miami is coming to town, I think last year he got sick, and so we had it set up. He got sick. A couple of years ago, we had it set up, but their travel got delayed, and so he was scrambling on the day that we were supposed to do it. And so we finally were able to sit down this year, and just a brilliantly nice guy. And we sat down at the hotel, and he's got some very, very incredible stories and interesting stories, including the fact that his name, Eric Reid, is not his name. So we really start off with that right off the bat, and some other great stories in there that I think you'll like, including, and I always appreciate when broadcasters do this, share some very personal stories about his family and losing a couple of his children and divorce in his family, and he was very open and honest in sharing about that. So I really appreciate that. If you have not subscribed to the podcast, you can do so, iTunes or wherever you get your podcast. Again, be sure to rate it. And you can follow us on social media, Twitter @TheVoiceBTV, Facebook, facebook.com/thevoicebtv. And you can always email me, thevoicebtv@gmail.com. All right, let's get to it. Episode number 163 with Eric Reid of the Miami Heat. JW, roll the open.
Going through the loss of two children at childbirth with my first wife, that's an excruciating kind of loneliness, because there's nobody that can help you or touch you or reach you, when you experience birth and death at the same time, or at a very close time. And I went through it not once but twice.